Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 40, Autel's Release and DJI Mavic 3 Pro update. I hope everyone is doing well. As you can see, I have a very special guest tonight. It's JohnnieDroneFlyer. Welcome, Johnny. How are you doing this evening?
Doing good, man. Everything is great. You know, it's getting back to normal a little bit, at least where I'm at here in downtown area. So yeah, it's getting better every day.
That's awesome to hear. Marcus is going to join us a little later. Ron is visiting some friends from out of town tonight, so we wish Ron well and hope he enjoys that visit. But I know he'd be itching to get on tonight to talk about all that we have to do.
He ain't lying. Yeah.
There's just so much. So Johnny, give us an update on your area and how things are going around there.
Well, here, you know, I live in downtown Hammond, and they're starting to pick up the trash bins. You know, the debris. The only thing they're picking up is tree removal right now. If you have any carpet or anything that flooded, they're not touching that. The only thing they're picking up is tree. And I was telling you a little bit before the show, you know, I went out in some. I hadn't really left downtown area, but I did go out kind of to some subdivisions out west a little bit and all, man. And you cannot even see the houses because the piles of limbs and trees are so high on a road. It's like driving through a tunnel. But, you know, they're getting to them. And I think as far as I know, everybody has power back. There was 2 streets over that just got it back, I think, Monday. And right here in downtown. So, you know, you always think of the areas, you know, rural type areas. But this was a street that was really must have had a little tornadoes. Actually, my daughter lives on the front end of that street. And everything behind her kind of got wiped out as far as trees and telephone poles, light poles. Well, say telephone poles, light poles. But anyway, yeah, it is getting back to normal. And, you know, we were blessed. And I know a lot of people reached out to me. And no, you know, looking at other people, you always have to, you know, I know how fortunate I was. So.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear, because I know a lot of people were concerned about how you were doing, and you know, because you know, obviously, I know exactly what you go through because I've been through it myself, and it's, you know, it's just like,
yeah. Now looking back, you know, it was 4 weeks ago Sunday, man, and you know, we dreaded that thing coming in at night, but I don't know if it'd have been worse during the day just to see it, because I mean, at nighttime it was kind of scary, but. Man, it was a lot of noise and a lot of wind and a lot of stuff hitting the house and the roofs. And I got a stick through my window here that I can't seem to get nobody to fix it. But that's low priority on the totem pole right now, you know.
Yeah,
you know, it's great, man. And, you know, exciting news in the drone world. And, you know, I want to thank everybody. Of course, I had a lot of people reach out. Yeah, and Dre sent me this cap, I think, Saturday. I'm working on a fence and Recovery One drones, and it's like you know, the mail lady came and said, "Hey, I got something for you." I don't know what it was. So yeah, you know, everybody, a little bright ray of sunshine popped up in a box. You know, so I want to thank you.
Yeah, that never hurts. That absolutely, you know, never hurts. And you know, and I know, having gone through what you've gone through, you know, it's not a picnic. It's not easy. And you know, and on top of that, yeah, you know, for me, I have to let there's a number that we can let our employer know that we're safe. They have us call in to check in with a number whenever something like that hits. And, you know, they're very gracious, because I went 2 days after when we had Irma hit us, and there were these, I have a parking structure next to the office building that I work in. And there were these trees that I would say they're probably at least had 10-foot around trunks.
Right.
They were toppled over in the lot. Fortunately, they didn't hit the parking garage, but any cars that were there were gone. I mean,
it's amazing what, you know, I've seen even at the baseball field. I know the foul poles are bent, like you just, and you know, it's hard to bend a metal pole about, I guess, you know, 5 or 6 inches in diameter just for the wind to do that, you know. But hey, everybody's good and everybody's healthy, and my family, and not that, you know, but we've been helping a few other people, and you know, washing clothes of people that didn't have power and stuff. But hey, it's all great, and you know, it's been an exciting week in the drone industry. I know that, you know.
It is. I mean, the news has been. I mean, you know, I did an update on Friday about the Mavic 3, and then I did an update on Sunday because there's so much has come out, and then we've had more, and we're gonna touch on that later in the show about the Mavic 3 Pro and the pricing on that. We're also going to touch on Autel and some things on that. But first thing I kind of wanted to go over tonight was the Osmo Action 2, because that's kind of been lost in all of this, is the leaks regarding the Osmo Action 2, because you know the 10 has come, the GoPro Hero 10 has come out, and Johnny, I don't know if you caught Ron's review, and I think he did a very good one. Basically, the GoPro Hero 10 is just an incremental upgrade from the 9. Okay,
yeah, it's not real big, but
yeah, there wasn't a lot there, and Ron himself was telling me he was waiting to see what the Osmo Action 2 was going to look like. So I'm going to pull up an article from Hey Kesteloo. Get my things together here. I'm going to pull up an article from Hey Kesteloo, and that talks about the Osmo Action 2, and I wanted to kind of go over this here a little bit. It's different because what you're seeing here are different components. Okay, have the camera itself. There's also a viewfinder with it, I guess is what they're calling, and a base. It comes with an attachment, allows you to wear the action camera over your shirt. Of course, they spelled it wrong here. While it magnetically attaches to the magnetic lanyard you wear around your neck underneath your shirt. This makes it really convenient to get an FPV while you keep your hands free. This is what this looks like. You can see more of that here. The Action 2 can also be attached to a ball head. It's going to be done with or without the display unit. Mounting the action camera on a ball head provides a lot more freedom to get the exact right camera angle you're looking for. The interesting to see DJI can offer some real competition to the various and very capable Insta360 cameras or the awesome GoPro Hero 10. Stay tuned. And this is basically just kind of going over that. And because I wanted to cover this update. And, this one has kind of like gotten pushed to the side with everything that's been going on between Autel and DJI, Johnny. I know I talked to Ron a little bit about this, and his initial thoughts on this were, he wasn't a big fan when the Insta360 did those little modules, okay? And this is kind of what this is like. It's kind of reminiscent of this. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I don't have a GoPro at all, and my son-in-law does, and I'm not sure what version it is, but I'm not really familiar with it a whole lot. And of course, I know, with those work on the FPV drones, if that's what it's kind of based for, is it, it's a good vlogging thing. And I think all that comes in a kit, right, with all those little attachments.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, and it seems funny how, man, they come out with a new product and then something always gets, whether it's a drone, and this happens to be kind of caught up in the middle of Autel and even DJI with the Mavic 3. So it's kind of getting lost in the shuffle there a little bit. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I was thinking too, because, with this, you're wondering, and as I've said before, and and I know you watch the show, DJI doesn't do things haphazardly. Okay. There's a rhyme and a reason. I mean, they have a business plan, they have a business model, and these timing of these leaks and everything, that these leaks happen. DJI knows about it. Okay. It's almost like they let this information out. So this Action 2, my thinking, okay, it will definitely be out before, here's Marcus. Hey, Marcus, how are you?
Marcus.
Gentlemen.
There.
What do you got? Oh, my gosh, you got the 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it yesterday or day before, huh, Marcus?
I'm such a sucker. Yeah. Johnny knows the story. So I just like what you were just talking about. Yeah, it's an incremental change. The stability is a little better. Now, the processor in it's a big deal because the Hero 9 had a problem locking up and some issues. So hopefully this new processor will save that. But they came out with a deal for $399, and they included like a little tripod down there at the bottom, and there's that magnetic mount on the side there. It's for the same price. So
that's cool.
Sucker, I hit the button.
Yeah, Marcus, guess what? I missed my iPad Mini today. I didn't know it was coming today, and I missed the UPS guy.
Oh man, so mine won't get here till they said the end of October. So you got it early.
Well, yeah, no, and I saw the guy, and I missed the Ring doorbell, but I'm gonna wait home tomorrow. So
yeah. Hey, so Bill, I heard you guys talking earlier, and I'll just make one point here. I don't want to interrupt your train of thought, but Air Photography did a really cool video today where he took the GoPro 10 and he took his iPhone 13 and he put them on a rig and he did a stability test. Just walking down the trail, right? Just normal steps. Which one do you think is more stable?
Probably the phone.
The phone. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't see it, but yeah, those phones are incredible.
It blew my mind. The stability in that new iPhone. They got some more built-in stability into the thing, and yeah,
got the Mini.
It looks better. And anyway, it's interesting stuff. The point of it is, here's what I'm going to say: is you almost can't go wrong. You know, whether you buy the new Osmo Action, or whether you buy a GoPro or just use your phone, these cameras that we have today are just amazing.
They are.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. Well, you know, my Action 2, you know, for me, it's been a staple for me when I go out and I shoot drone footage. You know, I use it in one form or another, whether it's, you know, I'm filming it on the pad or taking off, or, you know, or just, you know, doing a quick shoot while I'm out there of me talking. You know, it works incredibly well, you know, and I have a selfie stick with it, and it's been so versatile. It really has.
Yeah, Bill,
I can't say enough about it.
I still use mine as well. And, you know, when just to your point, like when I need a couple of different views, I use that Osmo Action, and it's still a great camera, and it's cheap. You know, you can pick one up.
Oh, yeah.
A brand new one for $200 now.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to welcome some people in the chat tonight. I didn't get a chance to do that. Leonard Oglesby is here. Maddie's here. Akarasho's here. Lauren is here tonight. Let's see, who else do we have? Captain Ray Kelly is in, and make sure you watch Captain Ray and Johnny tomorrow night. Jake's Drone Life, John Olson, Mike Henrik, Matt Bagwell. Let's see who else. Fly Guy Merrill. Let's see who we got. I think I saw some other people here. I just want to make sure we cover this. Drone Views Media is here. Who else do we have? Cliff Totten, welcome, Cliff. Glad to see you here tonight.
Big crowd.
Yeah, it is. We got a lot going on here. Hell 9000 Zigzag is here. Let's see who. Okay, all right. We covered bases on that. Okay, now you know we and I meant Ron invited me to the show last night. I didn't see it till this morning for last night, so I would have loved to have been on because you guys had a great. I watched most of your show. You had a great discussion going last night. One of the things that, you know, the next thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, and your timing's impeccable, Marcus, because you know, I wanted to talk about Autel's release that wasn't a release. Okay, now what was really interesting about all of this, okay, I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted a comment out on Drone Nation today. And there's a gentleman from Australia, I forget his name. All right, he informed me, I guess, Ken Dono, our good friend, Original Dobo, I think it was on, he said it was his podcast, but I believe it probably was his live show last week. What he said was that apparently Autel got wind that somebody over in Italy was going to go ahead and release all the information regarding the Nano and the Evo Lite. So they went ahead and they set the 28th as a date to just get out all the information, the facts and everything, but not the release date, because you saw, and we're gonna take a look at that. It said coming in fall 2021. Okay, so I found that information out, but I have to say this before we take a look at some of the specs and everything. Okay, this really sounds very reminiscent of, remember what happened and in February of, and I'm trying to remember, I can't remember the year. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. Okay, right after whatchamacallit in Vegas. All right, and Autel, it gets out there that they're releasing the Evo. This is when it was originally coming out in February. Okay, and when do we see it? June. Okay, and I'm, you know, call me a little bit of a skeptic here, guys, before we get into this, but you know, it's kind of like that show me the money kind of a thing, because Autel, and Ron and I talked about this last week, Marcus, before you joined us, was, you know, how they, you know, how are they going to gear up production for two different models of the Nano and Evo Lite and keep up with the Evo 2 production? I mean, that's, you know, that's a lot for them. Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree, Bill. But the only thing I would say is they haven't put a lot of drones out in a long time, so that could be, they could be a little bit ahead of the game. Now I don't know. I've never owned an Autel. I think Marcus never owned an Autel, right, Marcus? So we had Randall on, of course. Randall was on one week, and of course the next week he wasn't. But he did answer the question kind of in the back room a little different than he did on the show. And of course, I don't think those drones were probably in production when he already got there, of course. But I think that they'll be out relatively sooner than later. That's just me.
I think so too. But go ahead, Marcus. Marcus, I don't know. We can't hear you.
I think he muted.
Muted. Sorry, boys.
Okay. There you go.
My wife walked in the room, and so I muted it for a second. She's fixing dinner, which is a good thing. And I can feel my jaw again. I went to the dentist today.
Okay.
But hey, so what I wanted to do is give Johnny some credit here. On that show with Randall Warnes, as you guys will recall, one of the things you said, Johnny, I just kind of pshawed. I said, "Oh man, that guy's out of his tree." You were suggesting to Randall that Autel needed to come up with a drone to compete with the Air series, the Air 2 series.
Right.
And I said, man, Johnny is full of it. They're going to come out with a Mini, and they'll be happy to have a Mini to compete in that space. And look who's right. Johnny was right on the money.
Wow.
Well, like I said, in a back room, and how you talk before the show, we all do it. And Randall, of course, that was one of the main, because I had people text me all day, hey, please ask Randall if they're coming out with a Mini, if they're coming out, and he did tell us in the back that, he answered it a little bit different than he did on the show. Now, he didn't say they was building a Mini. He didn't say they was building an Air 2S, but he did say they had some stuff in the works. And like I said, of course, the next Wednesday he wasn't there, but all those drones, I'm sure, were in production. And that would be the only thing that maybe they do have those drones built and ready to go. Now, could be totally wrong,
They wouldn't be making this announcement if they didn't have production capabilities. That's
what I think.
Yeah.
But
But I share your frustration, Bill. Because I got to be honest with you. I was hoping that they'd have this big deal on the 28th. We're all excited about it. We're all ready to go. And to find out that, okay, these are the drones, but gosh, we can't tell you. They're going to be in the fall sometime. So that is disappointing.
Well, let's go. Let's take a look at them, okay, and look at prices and look at their specs, and then I have another question for both of you. Okay, now here's the article, and this is from Joan DJ. Okay, now the single battery base model of Evo Nano is $649. Evo Nano Plus carries a price tag of $799 without the battery bundle. Four color options. Autel Orange, Blazing Red, Deep Space Gray, and Arctic White. Nano Plus specs, it's packed with a 1 over 1.28 inch, 0.8 inch CMOS sensor capable of capturing 50 megapixel photos. Our YYB color filter array design on a large aperture of f/1.9 reduce noise and deliver great results even in low light. A PDAF plus CDAF autofocus system allows subject tracking with incredible precision. It's a half-inch sensor. The Evo Nano can take 48 megapicture stills and record ultra-sharp 4K 30 frames per second. Paired with a three-axis mechanical gimbal to prevent vibration, Nano is designed to ensure smooth footage no matter how rough the conditions. Okay. Sky Portrait cinematic shots transmission range. Autel says the drones use its strongest transmission system yet. Skylink provided transmission range of 6.2 miles at 2.7K 30 frames per second. Drones are expected to hit the market at the end of October 2021. Okay. So what I wanted to say initially off the bat here, okay, and I know Ron and I kind of had a little bit of a chat today, which was good about this. Okay. Now they're coming out at $649 and $799. All right. And one of the things I thought about, it's $799. Guys, what can you get for $799 that's currently available right now?
An Air 2S.
Yes. Okay. And I'm going to say this. All right. Now, Ron also brought up the point last night on the show, Marcus, and he brought up a real good point. For him, winter's coming up, and that also means a lot of wind. And, he's not really looking for a mini drone per se at this time, which I completely understand. If you're faced with a choice and you want to buy a drone right now for $799, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Okay. You don't even consider this. You consider, you get the Air 2S. I mean, Johnny, I don't know if you've seen us recently lately or not, but it's kind of like, for me, it's like you got to pry my cold dead hands off my Air 2S. All right. Because it's such a good drone.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I mean, and then if you look at, they offer a bundle on top of that $799 that says a premium bundle. Now it doesn't say what comes in the bundle for $150. So is that one more battery and a case and a few, go ahead, Marcus.
Don't quote me on this, but I can't remember where I read it, but I thought I read that the base package comes with 2 batteries, which plays into it a little. That may or may not be true. I read that, on Twitter or something, I believe, just somebody's post. So
yeah, and you can go to a couple sites and pre-order, but it doesn't say. It's very sketchy on what's in the box. I mean, it doesn't say what's in the box.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, well, Johnny, we've talked about this before, and Bill, you have too. Heck, Johnny, when that Mini came out, you told me, well, I'll take a pre-order. I mean, so anybody can take a pre-order. That's my point.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Send me some money and I'll hold it, But no, I really do think that those drones, I think that they'll be out sooner or later. That's just me. And y'all been in a lot longer and y'all waited for drones. We waited for the Zino. Now, actually, in reality, the Fimi Mini came out pretty quick.
Fimi Mini was right on when they said it was going to come out. Yeah.
Now, one of the other things that that I find real curious, because consistently, I would say let me use the word not consistent, but historically, when you're at least probably like 4 weeks out or so, it hits the FCC Grant ID database. Okay. Now, we haven't seen anything out there yet on this. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean, and I will go, one of the exceptions, when the Spark came out, okay, back in 2017, it didn't hit the FCC Grant ID database until the day it was released.
Really?
Okay? That's one of the rare exceptions. Okay. For the most part, they're usually out 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time. So we haven't seen anything yet from Autel on this. But I believe you guys. I really think it's going to come out. But there's a lot of doubters there. And I know, because I know, and Ken will speak to this as well, because we were following it when the first Evo was coming out and the frustrations that people had, because like you saw those sites, Johnny, a lot of people were taking deposits for the original Evo, and they were holding on to this money for months.
Right.
Okay. And
kind of like Banggood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like our friends at Banggood and Hubsan. Okay. Holding on to our money for months at a time, in people were real frustrated with that process. Well, I kind of think Autel's kind of gotten things together. And I think you're right. I think they probably have geared up production for this and are ready. From what I heard, from what somebody said about what Ken said, that they'll be in hand and they'll be ready to go at the end of the month, at the end of October.
But a question I have: did they release? Should they have released one and then waited and did another one, or is it too many at one time?
We don't know that, do we? We don't know.
Yeah.
But Johnny, I got a question for you, because you're just like me. You've never had an Autel drone, and I'm going to buy one of them just because I want one. I've never owned an Autel drone. I like mini drones. Mini drones kind of fit pretty good in what I do. Yeah. Although again, the Air 2S, just like you guys said, that's probably the best drone I own right now. So I will probably buy an Autel Mini. And Bill, I know you've already owned one, but Johnny, are you looking to purchase an Autel drone?
Well, at first last night when they started hitting around 10 o'clock, you see some of the price. I was I say I was a little sticker shock, but then, I think we probably may have to get past, since COVID and just since the last few months, prices have gone up, ships gone up, labor's gone up. So, we may not see a price that we want. you know, and the little Zino Mini was what, 569, Marcus? So 649 for something that works. If it works, like they say, and I feel pretty confident that it will, you know, may not be that bad. And yes, I probably will get one.
Yep. Yeah. And Bill, I want to remind you from a pricing perspective, we're talking to a guy here that's in the real estate industry. So
yeah.
Well, you know, we did some charts today, and you know, home ownership, I mean, it's like up 21% in the past 90 days. Now it can't keep, you know, we'll be at California prices here in Louisiana, you know, so I don't really know where that's going. But drones, you know, drones will probably, we may not see
you made a great point. I was being funny there, but your point is spot on, Johnny.
I mean, we may not see, you know, would we rather pay $599 than $649? But you know, really, is $50 going to stop you from getting it? I mean, probably not, you know.
Well, you know, one of the other things too that I was expecting today, and I wasn't expecting, maybe not necessarily reviews of the drone, but footage released from Autel. You know, this is what, you know, footage from the Nano and Nano Plus showing us what it's like. All right. Because we got bit by the Mini Pro, Marcus. You know what I'm saying?
Good point, Bill. You just made a great point there. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even think about that, but you're spot on. Why would we have seen a little drone footage?
I think it's a leak. There's a leak date for that. I think this came, and then pretty soon we'll see some videos very soon.
Yeah, but you know what? That just makes me a little bit nervous about that release date.
Yeah, you know, and I say that because, you know, of all the shenanigans that Hubsan has you know, it's like, you know, it's like the shell game. You know, watch my hand. Which shell is which ball is a shell under, kind of a thing. You know,
yeah. Autel is not Hubsan by a long shot, but I get your point, Bill. But you know, you're correct. You'd think they would have been, especially with those big sensors and stuff. You would think they would have been pretty anxious to show off.
Oh yeah,
some footage from the drones. It's a great point.
Yeah, because you know, every time, you know. And I'll say this, you know, every time DJI has done something, you know, and have a release or something, there's footage out there. You see something with that, okay? And I'll give everybody a prime example here, okay? The V-Copter Falcon is out now, all right, and we've seen it in action in the wild. We've seen some footage from it finally, okay? And a lot of people, you know, I know Marcus, myself, Ron, and I'm sure you too, we were all skeptical about that. Okay. We haven't seen any footage from this. Can this thing even fly? Okay. We see it. We've seen footage. We see it fly now. Okay. Is it the best footage in the world? Probably not. But
Bill,
go ahead, Marcus.
Do I wish my Zino Mini Pro footage looked as good as what I've seen off of that V-Copter? I do.
Oh yeah.
And that V-Copter is about equal to the original Mavic Pro.
I was just going to say that. Because Ron had talked about the camera on that, or I know it was Ron, but I know somebody had mentioned that the camera on the V-Copter Falcon is very comparable to the original Mavic Pro camera, which was not a bad camera at all. Okay?
No, the footage I've seen looks pretty darn good, and it's pretty stable, and the drone appears to fly pretty decently. But the point that I always brought up to a couple of the reviewers was, okay, so what does it bring to the table that we don't have in 10 other drones that we can buy?
Yeah.
Other than the form factor, right?
Well, they talk about the flight time as well, too. That's supposed to have, but, you know, flight time is a subjective thing, okay? You know, one person can, you know, and if you're flying it like crazy at top speed, you know, you're going to chew up that time like nobody's business. You hit headwind, all kind of things. So
and it's not a cheap drone.
No, it's not.
It's $1,000, right? $999. Is that?
Yeah,
it's not cheap. So, but I, you know, and I'm going to say this before we move on to our next subject. Okay. Remember the Evolve 2 was supposed to be coming out. Okay. And we haven't heard crickets about that. All right. I mean, there has been nothing on that.
So Hot Rod in Daytona, I thought he posted something, was it yesterday or the day before, that it's going to be available in October.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's very, very interesting.
$3,600, I guess. $3,600 for just the base package.
Okay.
That's a beautiful drone, man. I'm telling you what, I held one in my hand. That carbon fiber on that thing, it just looks like you can swim in it. It's so deep and rich and you know, glassy looking.
Well, we're gonna talk about the Mavic 3 Pro update, and what we're going to kind of focus on tonight, and what I'm going to start out with, you know, the big thing is the pricing on this. Now, one of the things, let's go to the article from Drone DJ and Hey Castaloo here, and you know, let's just go over this here, and then what I want to do is we're gonna go and take a trip in the little bit of a Wayback Machine here. Okay, how much? All right. Now, the Mavic 3 comes in 3 different versions: the Mavic 3, Mavic 3 Flymore combo, Mavic 3 Cine Premium combo, with room prices ranging from €2,150 to €4,800. Okay. Now, over the weekend, Henrik Olsen from Tech Drone Media posted these prices: $2,150 for the Mavic 3, $2,900 for the Mavic 3 Flymore, and $4,800 for the Cine Premium combo. Okay. Converted that to US dollars: $2,515 for the Mavic 3, $3,394 for the Flymore combo, $5,617. And then the article further goes on to say, you know, comparing pricing from euros to US dollars for DJI drones that are already out. Now, the article, so the rumor Mavic 3 price from Henrik in mind, where do we think the prices will land for the US market? We think the following prices might be likely: $19.99 for the Mavic 3, $27.49 for the Mavic 3 Flymore combo, and $44.99 for the Mavic 3 Cine Premium combo. Now, one of the things I want to go ahead and I want to share with everybody is this, and let me bring that up. I thought I had that up. I'm going to have to get that back up here. Okay. Let's see if I can get this. Okay. Now, this was from back in the day. This was when I bought my Mavic 2 Flymore kit and the Mavic 2 Pro. Okay. Now, this comes out to $1,768. Now, I added, obviously, it's not on here and I don't have it, but I spent $800 to get the smart controller. So that comes out right around $2,568. All right. From what we're seeing right here. Now, my question for you, gentlemen, is this. And let me bring up that screen here. Okay. Now, you know, I can see a price increase on this, which is very much justified. Okay. You know, I can buy these first two, but I'm having a real hard time buying this $44.99 for the Mavic 3 Cine Premium combo. What are your thoughts?
So what I'm hoping, Bill, is that second one down, the Flymore combo. Man, I don't need Apple ProRes. That's so far above my pay grade. It's not even funny. Some of those things that might be in that Cine combo are probably more than somebody like me needs. But what I really want, and that's the one they're saying that it comes with, is that smart controller. And I want to buy that in a package. So that will be critical to what my decision is on whether I buy this drone or not. And of course, we don't know all the features yet either. I mean,
right.
They'll talk about the, you know, there'll be something like, God, I'll just be drooling saying, hey, I got to have it. You know. What
are your thoughts, Johnny?
I would say almost what Marcus says. I think features would be a big, and I mean, that's a hefty step up from what I personally do. But you know, it would be great to have the smart controller from what everybody, you know, says. And of course, would it work with some of the, you know, like the Air 2S and some stuff like that? And that would really be, I think if you can get that whole, like, you know, kind of what Apple does, where it kind of works with a lot of stuff. Yeah, it may be more pleasing to a lot of people to step up to that. At least that Flymore combo, I agree with. The other one, yeah, that's a little. I mean, I have no use for that particular drone, but will it be that 27? You know, I've heard anywhere
like a big step, isn't it? Yeah. What justifies that price increase? Now I know that they have to pay Apple for that ProRes feature,
right?
And are there some other things on there that they're paying for?
Because if they both have the smart controller, that's a big difference, you know.
Yeah.
So well, you know, and here's the thing, okay, and I was thinking of a couple things here. Now, if you look at this jump, that's almost, that's almost $2,000 from the Fly More combo up to the premium combo. And I was going to say that about the Apple ProRes. Is the licensing for that like about $1,000? I mean, it's crazy if that's what that is, but I don't think it is. Where I see this, I see these first two prices as probably being realistic, what Hey Kestelou put down here. But for this one, I think it's going to top out at about $3,500. Because if you look and, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and try to bring up here. I'll stop sharing for a second. I'm going to try to bring up the other articles here regarding the Mavic 3 here from DroneXL, and I want to take a look at the Cine option and see what is.
Yeah, he had that list, and it was, but it was kind of hard to tell exactly there. But I guess if that whole thing is, if it was around $3,000, man, I would probably squint my eyes a little bit, but I might still hit that button and I don't really even want to pay that much. And if it was much more than that, I just don't know that it's worth it for what I do with a drone. It would kind of get out of what my comfort zone about what I need,
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this. And this is one of the things I want to go over this. Okay. It comes with a Mavic 3. Mavic 3 Cine, DJI Remote Controller Pro instead of the regular controller, 3 batteries, 6 props, smart controller sticks, Mavic 3 storage cover, Type-C cable, Lightspeed data cable, battery charging hub, portable charger, 2 ND filter sets, QSG, whatever that is, and a convertible carrying bag. Okay.
And that's the same. If I recall, Bill, that the Flymore combo is the same, minus the ProRes. Of course, that doesn't even say that, but minus the smart controller, I believe. So
now it also talks about being equipped with cellular transmission dongle, wide angle lens, a prop guard, and a protector case. Okay. And it shows in this table what this is like, but I mean, this is really kind of all translated up here. So, all I'm seeing as far as a difference is concerned is something about, like this transmission dongle, maybe a wide angle lens, a couple of ND filters. I mean, this really looks like, except for the Cine, which is the Apple ProRes, I'm sure this all looks like what would be in a Flymore combo kind of a kit.
I agree, Bill. And so what do they mean by a wide angle lens? Does this drone have some different kind of glass on it? Who knows? That makes it more expensive, possible.
Yeah.
And see, and this is why I'm having a hard time swallowing this $4,400. Okay. I just don't see it. Cliff Todd, and he made a good comment here. Mavic 3 will almost certainly not just have ProRes; it likely will have ProRes RAW too. Okay, so evidently that's something too. And one of the other things that we haven't seen on here, okay, and I know Cliff had mentioned this before, it's going to have a terabyte of internal storage. All right, that's something that we haven't seen on the list, and it hasn't been mentioned. But it's going to be on there. And I don't think it's going to be on either of the Mavic 3 or the Mavic 3 or the Flymore kit.
That could be a great point.
And it could be costly a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I don't see it hitting $4,000, maybe $3,500 with all this is what my thought is regarding this. I just don't see it topping out there. It just is not for me. I just can't get there, even with what Cliff just told us. Okay. And then, what I just said, I don't see it going over 3,500. I really don't.
Yeah, no, great point, Bill. And if, geez, I just don't know that it would even be worth it to me at $3,500. Like I said, I just suspect it would be more drone than what I need.
Well, and here's the $64,000 question, and this is a good one. How long would we have to wait for the DJI to put out their smart controller version 2?
So you're saying it might not be available?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking initially probably they have just dedicated it to the Cine version, and it won't be out to the general
Oh,
up
an
for a while.
individual version that you could just buy. Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah.
I mean, and that's going to, and one of the other things that I wanted to talk about too, and I know a lot of people have mentioned this is for ultra professional type work. Okay. But, you know, and I know some people make the argument, well, this could replace the Inspire 2 kind of a thing. And I know Lauren said, I saw him in the chat and he said something about stay tuned for something in next April coming. So, you know, what is maybe in the works, but for me, okay, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are one-man outfits, all right, and want to do some type of semi-professional work and are interested in something like this, but, you know, they can't swallow a $4,400 price tag. They probably can handle a $3,500 price tag very easily. So I don't think DJI, I think they're going to have, I think they need to be smart here with this, because if they hit a certain level on this, you know, how many people are going to buy that? All right. You know, just, you know, and I'm not just saying hobbyists, but let's say semi-professionals. Okay. So people who will do maybe roofing inspections or real estate every now and then, you know, not as a full-time gig, but, you know, on the fly doing some things like that, or maybe doing some, you know, wedding photography or things, you know, go ahead.
Well, Bill, I just want to go on the record right now. So just take note of this. I'm just thinking about it while you were talking. I just can't imagine that they're going to price that kit more than $3,000. So I'm going to say right now, I bet we see it under $3,000.
Okay. I would be happy with that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I'll tell you this, okay, if that's what the price is for that, you know, even though, you know, like you said, and I agree with you, for me, it's above my pay grade as far as Apple ProRes is concerned. But, and I want to say something about Apple ProRes here in a second after that. But be that as it may, you know, one of the things, the driving force for me getting that will be two things. Okay. Number one, that smart controller, and number two, that 1 terabyte of onboard storage. Okay. I mean, that's, I know, and Cliff said, you know, it will get chewed up in a hurry if you're using both cameras like that. And I understand that. The other thing I saw, and this is something that Osita left, I'm totally ignorant to, I did some research on Apple ProRes and I try to understand it, but he talked about apparently it expires after a certain point in time or something like that. Have you heard anything about that, guys?
I have not, no.
I saw him post something like that, and it's I don't understand it. I mean, you know, I don't know if it has to do with licensing or what, but he said something about it's good. These videos are good for so long, and then they expire. And I'm like, I don't understand that. So, and Cliff, if you know anything about that, Cliff Totten, you know, drop it in the chat and let me know, because, you know, I know a little bit about Apple ProRes. It sounds great, but I don't know a lot. So if you know anything, please drop it in there, because I'm very curious, because I saw him post that and I'm real curious as to find that out. So,
but you know, if you're doing, I don't say real estate work, but if you're, you know, say professional doing roof inspections and I kind of agree with Marcus, if it's in that 3,000 to 3,200, that's, I mean, it is a lot of money, but you know, you can make that back pretty quick if you're, you know, doing a lot of Part 107 work. Now, you know, for me, it's, you know, I did a few real estate shoots and did a few roof inspections. I mean, very minimal type stuff, but, you know, I'm not saying it's not a lot of money, which it is, but, you know, it could easily be made back pretty quick on those kind of jobs, you know?
Yeah. And see, for me, I would look at it as an investment, because this would be a drone. Now, my Mavic 2 Pro, I still have it. It's been the longest drone that I've owned. Okay. I mean, I got it. You know, it came August of 2018. So it's going on. I've had it 3 years. That's the longest I've had any one drone. And the Mavic 3 Pro, if I get that with the Syndicate, that's going to be an investment, because when I officially retire from my job right now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do some Part 107 gigs. One of the things is I'm going to approach our community manager and see if I can go ahead and do some of the shoots that they need for the community that we live in out here. Okay.
Right. I'm laughing at Lauren. So Lauren said he's biting his tongue. So
Lauren's Many companies, I don't know the contracts were written. A relicense is possibly necessary for every manufacturer. Okay. Thank you, Cliff. I appreciate that. And then Lauren is biting his tongue. So
we'll see. Lauren is going to be on tomorrow night on our show, and he's he's saying he's got a little scoop. So we'll see. He's got a little insight, so maybe he'll let us in some inside information tomorrow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you catch Captain Ray Kelly and JohnnieDroneFlyer tomorrow night. You're on at 8:30 Eastern, right?
7 p.m. Eastern.
7 p.m. Eastern. Okay. So make sure you catch them tomorrow night, because that will be a good show. Having Lauren on, it's always a blast. Lauren's always great.
And I think Lauren has always kind of said that it was going to, I don't know. He's never really, I thought he said around 2,000, 2,100. So, we'll see for the, I think the 1,600 or 1,699 was a little bit low, but I don't know where that price came up or how it got to be in the chats or in the shows, but we'll see. That's what makes all this so much fun.
It does. and I'll tell you what, guys, I really think that probably within the next couple of weeks, we'll see an FCC Grant ID database leak on this. I think we'll see some pretty solid info on that. And when it hits there, it's interesting because there's a lot of information. If you do some digging, and I've learned how to go out there and find that information out there, you can find a lot of info out there without even leaks. And a lot of times what the companies do is they'll keep part of that stuff redacted until a certain date. And then after that, they'll put it out there. For example, their official instruction manual. They'll keep that redacted until a certain date, and then it'll automatically be released. So, but yeah, it's coming up. It's Johnny and Marcus. This is just an exciting time right now.
So what did that do? What did that do to the Mini 3? You haven't heard, it kind of got pushed on the side.
I bet we see it. I bet we see it before the end of the year.
You're right, Marcus. I think you're right. And you know what?
You think they're going to let the likes of Hubsan and Fimi scoop them with? No, they're not going to do it.
You're not tell. Yeah, they don't.
I'd already argue that Mini SE is a better drone than any of those other two brands that I mentioned, and it's half the price.
Well, this one here's possibly what we're going to see for the remainder of the year from DJI. Obviously, Mavic 3 Pro. We're going to see Osmo Action 2. That's going to hit, and we're going to see the Mini 3. All right, we will see that, because if you guys know anything, and I know we kind of joke around about Frank Wang and everything, all right, but one of the things, he always wants to be number one. He does not want to be looking over his shoulder. All right.
Well, there's never been a facet of the drone world that they've left, a stone they've left unturned. And so, right. Yeah, they're not gonna be sitting on their, especially now with the Autel announcement, makes it even.
Oh yeah,
more so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Hubsan or Fimi scares them, and I don't think Autel scares them at all. But it is a little, it's something they can read about and hey, bring it to their developers and researchers and say, hey, just build us something better than this, whatever. And it's pretty easy to do because they have a proven track record.
Johnny brings up a good point that Autel doesn't scare them, and I agree 100%. But I'll tell you what, one of the things that Autel did, whether it's true or not, about being leaked over in Italy or everything, but one of the things they did, and like we said, when Hubsan decided to come out and and talk about their Mini Pro, that kind of sucked all the oxygen out of the room as far as the Fimi Mini was concerned. All right. And you get to see, and you can see what happens as far, I made one of my majors was in business in college, and timing is so critical, even with just announcements. Okay. And this announcement from Autel was critical because it kind of sucked all the oxygen away for a day or so from DJI. Okay. Because, these leaks were coming out fast and furious from the Mavic 3 Pro. I mean, it was just like I was telling, Johnny Marcus, it's like Friday I had that update, and then Sunday I came out with another update because there was just so much that came out. Well, Autel is trying to steal some of that thunder and suck some of that oxygen out of the room. But, as time will go on, okay, now we find out it's not going to be out till the end of October. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to say it's really kind of a coincidence that as soon as Autel started talking about that September 28th day, all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff broke loose on the Mavic 3. I don't know, you'd almost think that could be planned.
You think?
Well, and I told Johnny this, Marcus, these leaks, they don't go, DJI does not hold this information back. Okay. It's with their blessing that this information comes out is what I'm going to say. Cause it's not a surprise to them. And it's also, it's good publicity for them. Yeah. And we've said, I know you were here and Ron as well, this information that comes out, from when we started getting some of the real solid concrete information, these specs were very believable. Okay. They weren't apple pie in the sky with, retracting legs or 360 camera all over the place kind of a thing. These were concrete, doable specs on an airframe that's very similar to the Mavic 2 Pro,
Yeah, no, that's a fact. For us as consumers, it's just an exciting time. That's all you can say. And what will our bank accounts survive? That's at the end of the day, because gosh, Johnny, I know you just almost did exactly the same thing as I did. You got a new iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I signed up for a new iPhone, and our friend Ron Brown convinced me that that I need to do that annual upgrade thing, which I signed up for, which actually it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's not a bad. Actually, it's cheaper in some ways. Yeah,
it is in some ways. So I went ahead and signed up for that. So every year I'll just trade it in on a new one. But Johnny, well, I talked about this a little yesterday when I was looking. I went on the Apple website just to look at that Mini, the Mini 6. Yeah, there you go. That's a beauty, Bill.
I'm telling you, and look at this. Okay.
Yeah, that's
with the. There's the small screen on there too. And the small screen, you could do everything on the big screen, on the small screen. Okay. The apps are scaled down. I just absolutely love this phone.
Dude, that one almost got me this close. I'm telling
you, the pictures on this is the best camera I've ever owned. I kid you not. I've had good Sony digital cameras. This is by far the best camera I've ever owned. Some of these pictures, I've been posting them out there. I've been taking the sunset up at the pool. It's just insane. It's just absolutely insane.
Oh, Bill, why are you taking pictures out at the pool?
Yeah.
I haven't seen none of those pictures.
I have to say this. Well, our good friend over in Ireland,
Alan,
he's not on.
Stephen?
Yes, Stephen Ewing. Okay. He told me, and he sent me a link, and he's using his Fold 3 as on his as a mount on his Air 2S. And
I think Lon Denard is too,
that's
right?
What Lon loves that thing, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the resolution out in the sun, this phone is fantastic. Okay. I don't know the exact number of nits, but it's better than my Note 10 Plus that I had. The resolution on it is so much better. And the other thing that's nice about this too is you can turn it and adjust it. So see, one of the problems that I had was the only way I can get my Note 10 phone on it was to put it in this orientation, and the buttons that you needed to turn on were underneath. So it was like, in order to get the screen to come on, to get the apps up, it was a chore to do that. With this, you can flip it around, and there's plenty of room. There's plenty of cable for that. So yeah, this is a great deal. I really like that.
Yeah, if I'd have been home today, I'd have had the Mini 6 in my hand, but I couldn't answer my Ring doorbell. So.
Well, glad that Mr. Bill Thomas joined us for tonight. So that's about it for tonight. I mean, we had a great discussion. Johnny, any closing thoughts?
I just want to thank you for having me on. And yeah, guys, maybe I know we all get excited about the new drones, but maybe, sit back and read the specs and see what's in the box and maybe see some reviews, before you, I say hit that buy button. And, there's going to be a lot to pick from here in the next probably 90 days or so. So like Marcus said, I'm calling the president, see if we can get a drone stimulus package passed, but, we're going to need it.
Marcus.
Well, I'm with Johnny, and let me tell you, the way the stock market went today, I might be going back to work driving a milk truck again. I'm not sure, but
yeah, it'll be different tomorrow.
It will.
Yes,
that's what's fun about that too. You just can't watch it every day. I know, but you do, yeah.
You do one of these, and then you kind of do one of these.
Sometimes I'll open my phone. I'll just go with one eye. You know, I don't know what to do, but it's still, it still doesn't do the, But hey, it's fun. It's been a great year in drones. I know we kind of started off kind of slow, but man, this last quarter is going to be, if they had a seatbelt on this chair, I'd put it on. That's for sure.
Well, I think Ken Dono put out a video, or he did he did a show a couple of weeks ago. He said the best drone of 2021 isn't out yet, and he was so right. It's not here yet, and there's a lot left to see. There's a lot of excitement coming out, and I want to echo what Johnny said. Sit back, take some time. For us, we might have itchy trigger fingers and hit that buy button. But for most of you, go out there, make an intelligent buying decision. Is this going to be a drone that's going to meet your needs? Is it going to fit in your budget? Don't overextend yourself. Okay. That's Absolutely. One thing that I want to say, because I know a lot of people get into debt to do this. And let me be honest with all you guys. Okay. When I purchase drones, okay, I don't put them on credit. All right. And that's one of the things, and I got to say this, okay, it took me 63 years, or probably about 50. I'm 63. It took me at least 50 years on this earth to learn.
I sold 2 drones today. Well, in the last 2 days. So,
well, my mom was always of the adage to pay for everything with cash. Okay.
Right.
And she really left a great legacy for me. And that's one of the things I've been doing ever since, I've been married to Valerie. I'll tell you, Valerie straightened me up good. Okay. I mean, really good. So if you're listening, dear, give me some kudos for that. But she got me on a budget. I've stuck to my budget. I've gotten things taken care of. I pay for things with cash. Okay. And that's one thing that has really benefited me. And that's one of the things, it's not wrong. You might not be in that position yet, but if you can, try to get there. That's one of the things I have to say. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox here, okay? We have a great rest of the year coming up. Osmo Action 2 probably is going to hit. We're going to see it probably in Mini 3 as well. The Mavic 3 Pro, Autel Nano is coming out. The Evo Lite is coming out. We got a lot. Coming up here. And don't forget to tune in to Johnny and Ray's show tomorrow night on Wednesday night. Make sure you catch it. Lauren's going to be on there.
Yeah, Lauren will be on. Yeah. And next week we have actually have Billy Cowell and Kelly Shores, and then in the week after.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Kelly's going to give us a little update on SpinUp, and then with the week, I think on the 13th we have Hay Kesselou. So
yeah, Hay is great. I've had Hay on before too. He's fantastic. So.
You guys get the best guests, man.
You really do,
Captain Ray.
I have to give it to Captain Ray. Yeah, he'll text me and says, "Hey, I'm gonna send so and so an email." And I said, "Hey, if you can get them, we'll have them on, of course." But yeah, I know I tease them all the time. We will have Elvis on one day for sure. So
yeah.
Because Elvis flies drones when he's not working at Burger King. Just let everybody know.
Yeah, that's right. He works at Burger King. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank Johnny for stopping by tonight. It was a pleasure having you on. And we're thankful you're making some headway in your area there. That we're real happy about that. Marcus, as always, it's great to have you on tonight. We hope Ron's had a good evening tonight, visiting with some friends from out of town. And we encourage you to watch all the other drone shows. Johnny put together a great spreadsheet on all the drone shows that are out there, and just want to encourage you to watch that, support the channels. We're all here. We're all brothers in this, and sisters, but we're all together in this, and have some fun. Enjoy yourselves always. And always, guys, remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.